Lamar Jackson likely not playing on Sunday for the Ravens against the Texans. And this is an interesting one because the Ravens have a very challenging couple of weeks ahead of them. Then they have their bye. So I think part of the decision-making process with Lamar Jackson, and this has always looked a little bit different than it does with other quarterbacks, I think relates to the way that you use him and how you get the most out of him and how you want to preserve him for the end of the year. There's no question that the Ravens are at their very best when Lamar can threaten the defense in every way possible. And that's not to say he isn't a great passer. He has turned himself into a great passer. He 100% is that. But if you're looking at the season and saying, how are we going to be at our very best in December and January and February? It's with Lamar Jackson being in the best physical condition you possibly can have him in. And so he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Obviously, it's a difficult hamstring injury to deal with. This game against the Texans this weekend is an interesting one because both teams come in 1-3, and the Texans really have a shot to take a step forward and dig themselves out from underneath that 0-3 start that they got off to. So, one team is going to come out of this 1-4, same sort of situation that the Ravens were in going up against the Chiefs last week. But they have to be careful with Lamar. And a couple of numbers I think that can help illustrate why. If you go back and you look and, you look at the career numbers and you look at the numbers from 2024, last year, Lamar Jackson averaged over 8 carries a game. And for his career, he's at almost 10 carries a game. That's a lot that's a heavy workload in the run game for anybody playing the quarterback position. Now you compare it against some of his peers last year, Josh Allen, who's another athletic quarterback with a much bigger frame and more ability to take on punishment. His average carries per game were at 6. And then Mahomes, who, again, came out, he was seen as a quarterback who could run a lot, really hasn't as a pro. He was at 3.6 carries per game last year. And for his career, he is under 4 carries per game. So he's running less than half as much as Lamar Jackson is. Well, what does that mean? That means the way your offense is structured, the way your offense is built in Baltimore is a little bit more reliant on Lamar as a runner. Again, does not mean he can't win the game in different ways. It's just the way you're constructed. So if it's a hamstring injury, if it's something that can linger, if it's something that's an October problem that could become a November problem, that could become a December problem, you're going to be a little bit more careful in managing that. And you're going to be a little bit more cognizant of what playing him now could do to him in November, could do to him in December. And so I think the right path here for the Ravens, I think it's the one they're taking, is to be cautious. And I think that's why they've always handled these situations this way. So again, to me, this is an important stretch for the Ravens. But the most important thing, and I think they're good enough to get by with Cooper Rush over the next couple of weeks, is why you invest in the backup quarterback if you are a team in the Ravens spot. And again, that's not saying this is going to be easy to get through the next couple of weeks with Cooper Rush as your quarterback. The Texans, I don't think are going to be an easy out this week. That defense is filthy. And CJ Stroud, it feels like, took a step with the offense last week and working under new coordinator Nick Caley. And then they have the Rams next week, who are going to be coming off of 10 days rest and obviously are going to be pretty hungry after losing 2 games in 3 weeks.